let's do this thing region by region. You were a hell of a player, man. You understand it better than anybody. I want to start in the South. Alabama, we know how talented they are, but I feel like having Arizona in that bracket was the worst matchup of another elite team that Alabama could have had outside of Virginia and San Diego State, who both play slow. Because the question I want to ask you, and this is something I've noticed, it seems to me that when we talk about pace of play between teams, it's always the teams that go slow that the fast team has to adjust to. It seems like it's never the other way around. I don't see teams get sped up a lot. It's like they get slowed down more. When you're looking at this, what kind of jumps out to you about this side?
No, you're absolutely right. And my junior year, I think, or sophomore year, we had to play Virginia in the second round. And Coach Donovan, in his infinite level of wisdom, he would have us go through defensive possessions, playing defense for 35 seconds. And we had to get used to that because nobody wants to play defense a full clock. You know, a team like Virginia, teams that slow it down, they're going to run a lot of sets. They're going to have a lot of action. They are going to wait till the right moment to take the best shot. They want the game in the 40s or 50s. But I think, you know, with a team like Alabama, because they shoot so many threes, that slow pace. I mean, if you're not knocking down shots and they're knocking down 10, 11, 12 threes, I mean, it doesn't take much to do the math that 3 points are more than two. But to your point, I think that is going to be. I do have Alabama and Arizona matching up in that Elite Eight game. I think Bama will struggle with a good front court, possibly. Charles Bediako is good. He's exactly what Bama needs in a big man. You know, he doesn't need the ball. He's not a post guy. He's 7 feet. He can run really well. Noah Clowney can come in there, play the four as well. But with Tubelis and Ballo, Hurst Ballo, obviously he can't make free throws. So and I'm one to attest for that. But that's going to be a great matchup, man. I mean, Bama's playing great right now. Brandon Miller's out of this world, and he's not just a scorer. But the South, I mean, other than that, you know, I certainly agree with you with Baylor at least making it to the game against Creighton. And this was a guess for Creighton to upset Baylor because I just like Kalkbrenner.
Baylor goes through these ruts. It's weird. And you know, typically Baylor's been built on defense, right? When I think of Baylor basketball, I think of defense. Yeah, and this isn't that physical, I'm going to get in your grill and kick your ass Baylor team because I'm just more physical than you are. They seem a little bit more reserved. But the two games, and you talked about Creighton there for a second, but the game that has me in absolute pretzels is Missouri and Utah State.
I know,
because
right?
I like Utah State is so efficient in what they do. Missouri, they want to run, they want to shoot threes. It comes and goes. When Missouri's cooking, I think they can beat just about anybody, to be honest with you. But it's really going to be hard to cook for 4 or 5 times in a row in the NCAA tournament. But I will always take efficiency. I'm leaning toward Utah State in that one.
Oh, man, it's so hard.
I know SEC Network. I know SEC Network, Patrick. I don't want to put you in a bad spot.
Well, I haven't seen Utah State play much, but I've seen Missouri at one point. Missouri had like a 4 or 5 game span where they were shooting 50% from the 3-point line.
Crazy.
And it's just like, if this is, you know, they made like 15, 16 threes. Obviously, they can beat anybody when that happens. But when they go cold, I mean, Kobe Brown's not making shots. They take it looks like, guys, they take some terrible shots sometimes, but they knock them down. Like they're not the most efficient. What goes for Missouri is I think they are a better defensive team than you would think for a team that shoots it as much as they do. They Demoy Hodge, who got snubbed from being on the all defensive team.
Agreed.
I mean, I don't understand. I didn't get to vote. I would have made the right decision there. But yeah, I think I'm only making a decision off of loyalty for that game.
Well, I mean, hell, SEC got 8 teams in. Look,
flex if you got
if you got them. But that one, and I'm not buying the College of Charleston over San Diego State or Furman over Virginia because everybody's taking it. This is what I always say. If you're going to sit here and talk for a week about how this 12 seed's about to upset this 5. You know who's hearing that? San Diego State.
Yeah.
If I was coaching a 5 seed, I would pray to God that everybody picked against me so I can say, see? They think we're going to lose a college of Charleston. What does that even mean? Who is that?
A lot of people saying the same thing about
30
Drake.
wins, man. 30 wins. I don't know.
It's
They're good.
But look, I get it, but
nice.
I watched San Diego State. Man, they're athletic in the front court, man. And they slow it down. And they got this one dude who shoots the lights out. I think he's like 46% from 3, something like that. So we'll see. But Miami has a hurt player. That's different.
Yeah.
These teams are both
Well, that's where I'm going here, Patrick, to the Midwest, a.k.a. the Texas region. You got Houston in here, Texas A&M. You got the University of Texas. Obviously, Houston, I mean, we know how good they are, right? Number 1 in the country in scoring margin, number 2 in defensive efficiency. Their best player, Marcus Sasser, may be injured. Tim Brando came on here yesterday and said, no, I don't think he's going to be as injured as people are saying. Then you got Miami, too, the 5 seed there, also dealing with some injuries with Omir. How do you see this bracket, this region here shaking out? I mean, can Texas go on a run? Maybe Xavier?
Well, the first point you made with Houston, I mean, if Marcus Sasser, I don't know, have any of you guys ever like strained a groin before?
I have. I have. It went down to my knee. I was bruised to my knee, Patrick.
It's the worst.
groins and hammies.
It's just like you can't cut and plant and push off laterally.
It's so
and
bad.
a dynamic guard, like he'll be able to be effective, but I don't think he'll be himself. If he played that game against Memphis, they win that game.
I agree.
For sure. Kendrick Davis, oh my gosh, what do you have in the first half?
Dude, I looked up and Memphis scored 46 points in the first half. I was like, what the hell's going on?
It was crazy. But yeah, gosh, because of that Marcus Sasser question, I think I had Houston losing to Indiana.
Really?
I like Indiana, man.
But
I like the Big Ten, but it's such a bipolar league.
Look, Trace Jackson Davis is one of the best players in the country. I mean, there's nothing he can't do. But, man, I've seen Indiana go cold at times.
Yeah. Well, see, like, here's where I use the year before factor with returners. Indiana blew it against St. Mary's last year after going on a run toward the end of the regular season, then in the Big Ten tournament. Played awful against St. Mary's. We watched that game together.
We were all together.
And Trace Jackson Davis came back. It's like Sheboy in Kentucky. It's hard for me to pick against you when you guys got embarrassed last year. Virginia loses to a 16 seed, then runs all the way through the tournament the next year and wins the national championship. That embarrassment is a hell of a motivating factor.
You're right.
And I'm not gonna drop the double dribble.
Oh, don't, Patrick. Too soon.
Please.
Too
I'll
soon.
never forgive Samir Dowdy.
Yeah, please, too soon.
I'll never forgive him.
Too soon.
I'll
never get over that. Hey, YouTube. Hope you like this video so far. But before we continue, this video is brought to you by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Do it now. Because new customers, if they use our promo code CRANE, C-R-A-I-N, can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code CRANE, C-R-A-I-N, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Guys, it's March Madness, men's, women's. There is a ton of games. NIT, CBI, who's ever playing out in the front of your street. There are so many games to bet on and first-round upsets. You got some big underdogs, Davey. Who
yes,
you feeling?
I do. And we're 24 hours away from basketball all day.
Basketball
in the first round. Thursday, Friday, we got Saturday games, Sunday games. I can't wait.
12-5, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, VC over St. Mary's. Do it now.
Do it now. You like that one? Two different styles. We'll see if they match up. But use that promo code CRAIN, it's not spelled like the bird, for that exclusive deal. DraftKings, making moves, always.
For the rest of the Midwest, I actually have Kennesaw State upsetting Xavier, and I
really
feel good about that.
Yeah.
That's our old stomping grounds, man.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's possible. It's not going to be a blowout. Zach Fremantle's out for the year. When you have a dynamic 4-man that can shoot it, it just opens up so much for your offense. Kennesaw has 5 seniors.
Yep.
5 guys that bought into the program, the system. They were a part of that team that won 1 game a few years ago. I actually saw Kennesaw against Florida earlier this year, and I was like, man, if they could just get a little bit better, just a little bit, they would have beaten Florida in Gainesville.
Yeah.
But man, I see Texas A&M getting through Penn State. For some reason, people are looking at Texas in this Colgate game and saying that could be the top 15-2 game.
I know, it scares the hell out of me.
Really?
It scares the hell out because I got Texas going far, Patrick. That would be the one that screws me. That would be the one that screws me.
So who do you have coming out from this region?
Who I have coming out? Let's see. Let's pull it up here. I think I had Texas.
Yeah. Yep. I do too now.
Texas coming out.
That's who I got.
I got them beaten. And it's hard. It was hard for me because I do believe in A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they have enough.
Well, Texas won 6 of 8 with 2 double-digit wins over Kansas. You know, it's not like they were barely beating Kansas. I mean, in their last 4, they've beaten Kansas twice by double digits.
Jabari Rice, man, I'm a huge fan of Jabari Rice.
Texas
man,
is
he's good. He's solid.
He's a good player, man. He's clutch too. I like it.
The big guy, Disu.
Yeah, he's from the Vandy transfer.
Yeah,
that's the Vandy transfer. They got him and Allen and all type of.
I mean, they got some guys, and they get hot, especially if they play well on defense. They can run with anybody.
Texas,
I really think that
Marcus Carr cannot play well, and they can still win. I think that's the difference.
That's interesting because that's something we talked about with Brandon Miller in Alabama this year. We've seen Brandon Miller not have great games early, and Alabama still found a way to win.
He had like 8 points against Houston.
Exactly, and maybe shut out in the first half, something like that, or at least one of those games. But either way.
Pat, just go down to the West. And speaking of Kansas, the reigning national champions, how do you feel about this? Who do you have coming out in the West? You're talking about Kansas, Noah Baji. You still got Jalen Wilson. You got Harris Jr. You had a couple guys returning from that national championship team. But I'm extremely interested in that second-round matchup because we're pretty sure Kansas is going to get past Howard. If Arkansas beats Illinois, could you maybe see Arkansas upsetting Kansas?
I don't know what's wrong with me, but innately I just see Kansas and I just want them to lose all the time. I don't know why. I'm like,
why do you hate birds, Patrick? Why do you hate birds? What did Jayhawk ever do to you?
You know, for what Bill Self was able to do with it after they lost 3 in a row, and then seeing how Kansas beat Kentucky in Rupp, I got to go with the Hawks. Yeah, you know, the only reason I could see Arkansas. And this is my decision my selection for possibly breakout player, Nick Smith Jr.
Yeah,
NBA guy player. That has been. I didn't even think he was going to come back and play. He really didn't have a reason to do so. But maybe this is his chance to solidify himself being a top 5 draft pick of taking over. But it's for them that their chemistry with Arkansas, it's been so out of whack. I do trust Eric Musselman, but you got Devo Davis, Ricky Council Jr., Anthony Black, and Nick Smith Jr. I'm just like, how do they?
Yeah,
there's not enough basketballs to go around. I think Kansas does a fantastic job. But you know, the crazy stat, DeJuan Harris, when he scores 6 points.
I heard this. Yeah, keep going.
Points,
this is nuts.
Kansas is 19-0.
Yeah, that's why somebody says if DeJuan Harris hits 2 threes, live bet Kansas instantly. They're not losing.
Before every game, I was like, DeJuan, 6 points.
That's all we need on that.
Yeah. He's nice.
Arkansas hasn't been that elite defensive team that they were last year. That's my only concern. I just don't know, you know, if they could come back. But I had Kansas going against UCLA. I think that for me, that seems almost clear cut. Unless UConn turns back into that team that we saw early in the beginning of the season, that UConn team could win it all.
For sure, beat Bama.
Are people sleeping on Gonzaga in the West, Patty? I mean, 3 seed.
I don't know. It's hard to say. They had solid guards. They got Drew Timme.
Yeah.
They don't have enough.
Yeah.
I don't think they have enough to get through UCLA.
UCLA could be sleeper. I mean,
I knew
a 2 seed. But a lot of people have Kansas coming down the West.
UCLA lost the Pac-12 championship.
Well, Jalen Clark, man, if they had Jalen Clark, I was going to pick UCLA to win it because that kid from Major Pain can play point guard.
It's just a big loss.
Is he out for the rest of the year?
The Jalen Clark, I don't think he's playing the NCAA tournament. I think it's going to be Tyga Campbell and Jaquez.
How about UConn with Sanogo down low? I mean, what Jake and I have been talking about is if you get Sanogo in trouble, you know, maybe pick up 3 fouls in the first half, something like that. That's a completely different UConn team. At the same time, they can play with anyone in the country. Yeah,
they can play with anyone with their pace. Adama Sanogo, he doesn't have to do too much for them to be great, but him and what's the freshman?
The huge white kid from Bristol. I can't remember his name. He's taller than Sanogo is. It's something like that.
Yeah, he is. And I'm not sure if they lost effectiveness being a 1-2 punch because as a freshman at 7 foot, they were saw them when they came and beat the brakes off of Florida as well. Like if they can get back to that, it really they'll have the balance. You have to have some kind of inside presence to open up the game for your guards to create a disadvantage. You know, you can't have guys that do nothing for you offensively in the sense of being bigs because they run so many off-ball screens for Hawkins to get him shots. If he's effective, this UConn team. But, and that's the thing. When you get to March Madness, man, the scouting is superb. Yeah. They're going to take away the strength. You got to take away the strength. You can't let star players just go out there and rock and do what they want.
Yeah, to use a basketball term, you got to make them dribble with their left.
Donovan Clingan.
Yeah.
7'2", 265.
Tree.
Get away from me.
Just a tree.
Get away.
Stand outside of Isengard.
7'2", 265.
Like, I've always wondered, if you're that tall, like, you have to be good at basketball. I've never went to Wendy's drive-thru and a 7'2" person hand me, like, a burger and fries. Like, what other jobs?
What is too tall?
Is it just customer service?
Is there a height you can get to where you're too tall not to be good? Because there's, like, guys
No, to me, it's
huge.
6'10".
They're like
to me,
7. There's a guy who's like 7'8", or say who's terrible.
Blaine, do you remember when I was in high school? And I'm not going to say the kid's last name, but Brandon was 6'11 and a half, played basketball, got hung on the rim during a game, like short, was awful. But here's the twist, Patrick. He was the number 8 ranked Halo player in the world. So we had a 7-footer at the high school who was bad at basketball, but incredible at video. You want to know how I know God has a sense of humor? Because of Brandon, that's why.
Yeah.
Well, gives a whole new meaning to Let's Go Brandon.
Cousin's brother, Jaleel Cousins.
Yeah, Jaleel Cousins went to your school.
Trash? Trash. How can you be trash?
I just don't
turn around and put it in the hoop, man.
I'd be in the stands like.
I just wonder what it's like to be able to make shots without putting arc on the ball. Like, I'd see these guys
right?
Zach Edey. Zach Edey throws it a little bit laterally and down. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's like pitching. Like, no wonder he's making it.
Yeah,
like, I don't have to do this. I can do this. You're playing cornhole against these
That's crazy.
Like, let's be honest. But, all right, St. Mary's VCU, man, that's one. That's a good up-tempo, slow-down game.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier. I think VCU is going to have to play their pace. I don't trust VCU at shooting threes. They're kind of on and off. And St. Mary's, man, there's something about those Australians that play slow. I just trust them.
Yeah.
You know, remember Della Vadova and all those little
the deli man
got running around.
Deli man.
St. Mary's.
Pop a 3 in your face and make you a sandwich at the same time.
If you're eating Vegemite, you can make a layup above.
You're damn right. Put that on a shirt.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Dude, Vegemite, you want to get answers from terrorists? There you go. Waterboarding? Why y'all waste your time?
Don't want
that or Oreos.
Yeah. We don't want to reward them, Blaine.
No.
The fact you hate Oreos says more about you than it does about Oreos.
Patrick, who comes out of the East quickly?
The East?
How far can Marquette go? Maybe Duke. I mean, look, Purdue. I'm just so intrigued by Purdue.
Duke?
I honestly got convinced to have Duke coming out.
Yes, Patrick. Yes, this is the way.
Yeah.
This is the way. I got to
They looked at the ACC. They're really. I don't know how you.
They're really good. Yeah.
I mean, the thing about it is like, if Duke starts figuring it out, especially during tourney time, like they play better when stuff like this starts happening.
Well, the defense for Duke has picked up, and Filipowski is a great matchup with Zach Edey. I don't know if he won't be able to stop Zach. He'll be able to neutralize him, and I like Duke's guards versus Purdue's guards.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like
Jeremy
play
Roach
defense.
is really coming on.
If FAU was playing any other team than Memphis, Patrick, I would have picked FAU to win. Is this the worst matchup they could have gotten?
Yeah, and I think Jeff Goodman, he was like, please committee, don't let FAU be a 9 seed. They're much better than a 9 seed.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
I've watched them. Yeah,
I don't know, man. Yeah, Memphis plays so hard defensively. They're going to struggle slowing down Kendrick Davis because he's so freaking aggressive and just knows how to get to his shot. But neither one of them, I think, would beat Purdue. So it's
yeah. I mean, what are you going to do with the guy in the middle? That's the biggest question. But Patrick, man, we love having you on, dude. We got to get you on again. I know basketball season's kind of wrapping up, but we'll find a way to do it. Like you said, glad you're feeling better, and obviously, continued speedy recovery. We appreciate you taking some time. This is a whole hell of a lot of fun. I knew it would be.
Yeah, that was a blast, man.
Yeah.
No, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. Gonna go and attack the rest of the day.
Go do it, man.
Fill out our bracket.
Yeah.
Patrick, fill out our bracket.
Yeah, join the bracket challenge, Patrick. Let's see right here. We can cheer on Duke together.
Let's go.
All right, man. See you, Patrick. Appreciate it, Pat.
See you, man.
Hey, YouTube, what's up? Appreciate you guys joining us. Hey, do us a favor. If you like the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you can always get an update when our content's dropping. We love doing it. We hope you enjoy listening and watching it.